Hello friends, welcome back to another video. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Amanda, registered dietitian and yoga practitioner / yoga teacher. If you enjoy content like health and wellness, lifestyle, veganism, dietitian and nutrition stuff, as well as yoga mindfulness, that's everything you're gonna find on this channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss a video from me. Today, we're going to talk about meal preps, and more specifically, I'm just going to share with you guys my meal preps for the week. So the reason why I want to start doing this more consistently is because personally, my meals have been so not that good, and I'm trying to get back on track with that consistency, that health, and I want to do it in a way that I'm excited about it, because we can always make meal preps, just meal prep some rice, some tofu, some some random vegetable and call it a day, make 6 of those containers and then be good. But I wanted to make meal preps that I'm excited for. I want to try new recipes. You know that feeling you get when you were a kid and your parents would pack you lunch, or maybe you packed your own lunch, and you were so excited about the food that you would have for lunch? Like, I wanted to have that same feeling about the food that I have every single day at work. So I'm going to be making meal preps for myself so one, I can stay on top of my meals. I don't forget to eat, I just don't know what to eat, you know? And then I don't have meals prepped and I'm like, man, I don't have time to cook right now. I'll just eat a bunch of snacks, and then dinner time comes and I realize, have I even had a vegetable today yet? Hopefully this could be as helpful for you as it has been for me. Today's meals are going to consist of creamy, delicious, Asian style almond butter noodles, vegan butter chickpeas, so instead of butter chicken, we do butter chickpeas, and a protein granola cereal type of thing for breakfast. So if you're ready to make some food, let's get to it.
Alright, so obviously you can make any of these recipes in any order you want, or you don't have to make all 3 of them, but I wanted to maximize the things that I could do in the time that I had in the kitchen. So I started off with soaking the cashews that I would use for the butter chickpeas first in boiling water for at least an hour or 2 before cooking. And then from there, I went on to prepare my tofu. I pressed it and made sure that all of the juices were out as much as possible. And then I sliced it into 1-inch thick slices, almost as thick as your index finger, and I placed them in a shallow dish in a single layer. So we're gonna keep going on with the Sriracha baked tofu. In a small dish, we're gonna whisk together the remaining soy sauce, Sriracha, maple syrup, and water. And then we're gonna pour the mixture over the tofu in a shallow dish and let it soak for at least 30 minutes. Now, while we're waiting for this tofu to soak, we can move on to vegan butter chickpeas. I chopped the onion and garlic cloves, I grated the ginger, and I removed the cashews from the soaking liquid. In a medium-sized bowl, saute the onion and garlic over medium heat in oil or in water if you decide to go oil-free until it's fragrant and semi-translucent. Then add in the curry powder and hot sauce to warm through and mix. Then pour in the veggie broth, the soaked cashews, sugar, ginger, salt, and bring to a boil. Then reduce to a simmer. Simmer this for 10 to 15 more minutes. I then go over to the almond butter Asian noodles and start making the sauce, because this one's super fast to make. All you have to do is mix together the dressing, which is just almond butter, some soy sauce, some water, crushed garlic, and sesame seeds. And then I took a zucchini to make little zucchini noodles. You can either use a spiralizer or you can just use a peeler like I did here to make thin strips. In a medium pot, bring water to a boil, place your noodles in water and cook for another minute. From there, turn off the water, cover the pot with a lid and set aside for 5 minutes, and the hot water will cook through the rice noodles there. After the 5 minutes, rinse the noodles under cold water to stop the cooking process so the noodles don't get that mushy. And then return the noodles to the pot and add the zucchini noodles. Cook on medium for another 5 minutes or so until the zucchini has slightly cooked. When it's all cooked down, you can toss the dressing into the noodles and the pumpkin seeds. And then you're done with the noodles. So going back to the vegan butter chickpeas, once it's been simmering for about 10 to 15 minutes, you want to add the tomato paste and the tomato sauce to cook for another minute. Stir it all to combine. Now, I use an immersion blender, but if you don't have an immersion blender, you can use a high power blender to blend it all into a creamy, thick sauce. If you're using a high power blender, make sure you let the cashews cool before you throw it in there, blend for about a minute or 2, and return it back to the pot. Once it's back in the pot, add the rinsed and drained chickpeas. Simmer for about 5 minutes just to heat the chickpeas through, and then stir in the spinach. I go hard on my spinach, so I like a lot. It just depends on what you want to do. So for the tofu, once it is done soaking for about 30 minutes to an hour, preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Line a rimmed baking sheet with either parchment paper or a baking mat. A silicone baking mat would work well here. Place the tofu pieces in a single layer on the baking mat, saving the leftover sauce that it was soaking in for later. You're gonna bake it for 12 minutes, and then once the 12 minutes is over, take it out, flip the tofu over, and generously pour the remaining sauce over the tofu. You're gonna bake it again for 20 minutes. So the last thing that we're gonna make is actually super simple. It's just granola and a protein powder if you wish. Usually I would do overnight oats, but I was feeling like I wanted something a little bit different. For this little granola protein powder cereal pudding thing, I don't even know what to call it, but it's just a very quick, easy, nutritious meal. I just put a scoop of protein powder. I'm using the all vegan line Vivo Life salted caramel maca flavor. It is so good. I just took a scoop of that and then put it into a container, added in about half a cup of homemade granola. You can use any recipe of granola that you like. What I like to do when it's time to eat is just pour half a cup to a cup of almond milk in there, give it a nice stir until the protein powder is about like a pudding consistency. Then I have the crunch of the oats and the granola. And then I like to add in some fruit. Frozen berries are my go-to, but for this week I opted for bananas. You could use any fruit that you want and prep it any way that you want. So customizable. Once the sriracha is done baking, it's time to assemble your food. I paired the almond butter noodles with the sriracha tofu and some red cabbage. I didn't cook the red cabbage because when I heat up all of it together, the cabbage will soften a little bit in the microwave. Red cabbage is also the best bang for your buck when it comes to nutrition and price. It's super cheap and has so many good antioxidant healing properties with it. For the butter chickpeas, I served it with some rice that I had cooked with some turmeric and some greens. What I like to do is place my greens last in an area where I can easily just take it out of the container to heat up the rice and the butter chickpeas. That way, when I heat it up, it doesn't wilt my salad greens and there's a nice contrast of the warm with the cold. I also garnished the noodles with some green onions, some more sesame seeds. Feel free to garnish with whatever you want. Doesn't that all just look so cute? I was so excited when I made this and even more excited when I was eating it for lunch.
So that is the meal prep. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you give some of these recipes a try. If you do, tag me, message me, whatever. All of my socials are in the description below. I'll be doing a bunch more of these in the future, so make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, that notification bell. I hope you're having a wonderful morning, noon, day, or night wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Bye.